Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Asaratha.
Shueisha took everything from me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, before we get into the news, I wanted to open the mic and let you inform the people.
There's so much hatred in my heart. The profile picture currently captures the vibe.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm astonished. Actually, you know, what, I'm not that astonished because Shueisha's like that, but what a crazy decision, you know?
yeah. So those that don't know, my Kagurabachi video, which was actually doing pretty well, and Kagurabachi enjoyers seem to also enjoy it, was copyright striked by Shueisha
It
because as
wasn't
far
even
as Shueisha,
like one of those, we're gonna turn off the monetization. It was they literally like took it down, right?
yeah, as far as they're concerned, I am stealing their intellectual property. Please ignore all of the comments on the video and on Twitter and etc. that are saying, "Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna start reading Kagurabachi now because this video."
Yeah, I don't really. Shueisha kind of does that. I don't
Yeah,
know why they do that. I don't really get it. I mean,
it
a lot of people I saw were like, "Oh, you've got to like blur the panels and like make them small and only flash them for but so many." And it's like, dude,
might as well have a
that's
black screen at that
insane.
point. Might
Yeah,
as well.
just make it another podcast at this point. Like,
Yeah,
what's the point of using a video if you literally all of the detail in it has to be covered
yeah.
up?
And I
I don't get
mean,
it.
I try it as well. Like I already know this stuff. I've been doing this for a while, but sometimes it don't matter.
What's
If a
funny
video,
too.
if a video starts to get big, it gets put on the radar, and no matter what, it's gonna get shot. This happened to me with ReZero. I had a ReZero video a while ago that started to do really, really well, really, really fast, and that is the only ReZero video I've ever had copyright striked.
Figured.
Because as soon as it gets big, they take it down. And the Kagurabachi video is doing well too, so it's probably dead now if it does come back.
I wouldn't count on it coming back. But what
7 days we'll find out.
it's funny because Kagurabachi's popularity is because of stuff like that.
That's exactly
It's such
yeah
a huge community push to get that to be as popular as it is now.
yeah.
So for them to suddenly be like, stop it, feels really stupid.
That's the thing. Is like they recognize that Kagurabachi is very big in the West, and surprise, this is what we do over here, man. We make videos and we glaze.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I don't even know how. I don't know. I would be afraid to ever make any kind of anime content in Japan because you'd get banned for real.
Yeah, well, actually, has there been any more news about that? I don't know. I haven't been looking on Twitter. But I
Um,
thought I saw something about like were talking about more people that got taken down by the Japanese
so
feds.
yeah, they posted a list of accounts that are being investigated. Um, one of the MHA leakers was on there. They deactivated and they came back with a new name, as if the
Oh yeah,
police
I
had never
saw the
thought about that.
one. Yeah, with a new name with the same profile picture, and then
Yeah,
they posted a
same
picture
account.
of their old account saying, "Hey, I was this guy." So not the best disguise I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
life.
it's not the greatest. What else? Yeah, there's only one MHE leaker now. We went down from 3 to 2 to 1, and who knows how long that one will last.
So it is the MHA leaker who only leaks via text the same guy as the one that posts the panels on two different accounts?
No, no. Those are two different people, Ever and Rukasu, and I believe Rukasu watches this, or at least
He
he
did at
did
some
back when
point.
Ocean was on. I don't know if he
Yeah,
still does. Um, Rukasu posts text leaks, and I'm assuming he's still doing that. Probably, if I had to guess, that's probably relatively safe.
I would think
But
so.
the image leaks would definitely get you executed in Japan.
Yes. I just wonder if they're the same person because or do they like work together or something?
They work together. They're definitely not the same person because the person who posted the image panels had me blocked, and Rukasu didn't.
Okay. The only reason I ask is because Rikasu and that person's captions are like word for word exactly the same. So I assumed that they were the same person, just posting on two different accounts, like
No,
how
yeah,
the
they
JJK
got a
guy used to do.
team.
Okay.
They got a team. There used to be three of them. One of them left. I assume for a similar reason to this. I'm not sure though. That's just pulling that out of my ass. And now the second one is left for
Left because
you find your name in the
John
list of the
Shonen Jump is
investigation.
outside their
Yeah,
window.
John Shonen Jump is ready to debate you in the marketplace of ideas. I would deactivate as well.
Yeah, I don't
Folks, if
know.
you're watching this and you're a Shonen Jump leaker, it's probably time to stop. I don't know how to tell you this.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the best idea. Like the
They
profit
had the
must be crazy because the only
they
way I could
had
think to justify it at this point would be that.
they had the JJK leaker's profile up in the fucking police department. It's time to
That's so
stop.
funny. Mia on that board, dude, that was killing me.
It's time to stop. Is it really worth a few thousand Twitter likes at this point? Because I don't think the MHA leakers make money from this. I mean, Rakasu, if you want to say otherwise, I guess go for it. But like, they don't have anything monetized except for maybe Twitter Blue, which I don't think you're making fat stacks off that.
I don't know.
You're gonna
I
go to
mean, I would
prison for
assume not.
fucking $35 and some shit.
That would be my assumption is that it's just Twitter Blue revenue. I don't know anything about it, so I'm sure any leaker that's watching this is like, ha ha ha. They don't, you don't know, but like I uh I got nothing for
Yeah.
why it's a logical thing. I get first on some level it's got to just be like the hype that it generates that they're like I'm the one
Yeah.
doing that like because obviously Mia had his whole thing about like don't leak my leaks.
Genuinely, like one of the funniest things that's ever
One
happened.
easily
I
one of the
think.
funniest things anyone's ever said, for
Do not
sure.
post leaks under my posts. You will spoil others. Interesting how that works, huh?
Do not spoil my leaks that other people post early because they're not my leaks.
That is
They're
some
just
crazy
oh
ego
man, it
shit.
was absolutely insane. Um, but yeah, I hadn't seen anything about that, but I remember seeing
Yeah.
some tweet that was like, oh, they've expanded operations to target this or that or whatever.
Yeah, I heard it's becoming a thing. So I'm not really I want to talk about it more, but I'm just kind of like I'm sitting back and observing.
Yeah, just not everything requires a reaction. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, we will see.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that that's like to blame for Shueisha copywriting everything because they've always kind of done that, I feel like.
Yeah, I did hear somebody speculate. I think it was in my replies that they're kind of trigger happy right now. It's possible. I mean, I personally never expected a fucking Kagurabachi video to get copyright strike, but
Neither did I. But
yeah.
it is Shueisha, and they've never been like. I mean, remember they took down that entire one dude's channel who did like One Piece and Dragon Ball? They just nuked the whole thing.
I think that was Toho.
Was it? Maybe it
Yeah,
was.
they basically wiped him off the map, and he had to have YouTube literally step in to block his channel from the entire nation of Japan, so that this couldn't happen again.
hmm Which is crazy.
Yeah, we
Absolutely crazy.
don't. People are saying we don't have options like that, so we're just kind of fucked.
Yeah, I mean, because when you're big enough to do something like that, they can actually
Yeah,
help you. But yeah, no, not normally.
I feel like it'd be a pretty like no, like a pretty big no-brainer to allow you to region lock your own content, because that's the whole thing. Because if your content doesn't show up in Japan, they don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if they can, right? Like,
Yeah,
because don't doesn't Japan have like much stricter laws around this stuff?
yeah, really outdated copyright laws. There's no fair use defense in Japan.
Which is crazy. Like, you can't at all. Like, that's nuts. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know. I don't know how you criticize anything in Japan, dude. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
right? Like, are there like critics in Japan? Like,
By my calculations, because this is operating on business days, if my video is to come back up, it will come back up on March 18th. Really taking it their sweet fucking time. So they got a lot of time to tell me to end it all.
yeah, it's weird too that they're not like, hey, take it down or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the system of it being like, oh, it's just an instantly knocked off and you instantly get a hit on your account
Mhm.
or whatever for needing that. It just feels crappy for creators. But what else is new? I
I'm
guess
I, I am 1/3 of the way of having my entire YouTube channel deleted now.
destroyed because of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is insane to me. But
Last time this happened, it was the ReZero thing, and they told me to go fuck myself. So I had to wait 90 days for the strike to expire, and then as soon as the strike expired, I re-uploaded the video again, and I'm fine. It hasn't. I haven't. I haven't gotten striked again.
not surprising. Sad, but not surprising.
Yeah, man, YouTube's fun. I hope all you shonen and chillers are ready to donate to my legal defense when when Shueisha gives me the court summons.
Hashtag I stand with Asaratha. Is that what we're gonna start doing?
Yeah. All dude, for glazing Kagurabachi, man. Come on. The
Yeah, of
savior
all
of shonen
things.
jump.
Of all things.
And dude, you can go to YouTube right now. Literally anybody watching this, you can pause the video, open up a new YouTube tab, and look up the JJK leaks. You will find so many videos of these leaked panels talking about all this leaked shit. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it
They're not
is.
getting copyright strike. But my
Nope.
video, it's talking about how cool this story is and how everyone should go support it and go read it, the official release, and go buy it so it survives and doesn't get axed. I get fucking copyright strike, man.
It's pretty crazy, honestly, that like that's what they focus on. I guess it's because YouTube is just like actually I wonder if it probably wasn't even a person that did it.
Maybe
It
not.
probably got picked by some robot. I doubt they have someone scouring YouTube for Kagurabachi content.
It might have flagged it for a real person to look at, and they probably just saw, oh, they used a panel. Boom them. Get them out of
Yeah, I think there's a decent chance. I feel like it's just a fucking bot scrolling
here. Yeah.
through and trying to like, oh, panel detected of a certain size, not
Yeah,
blurred. Get
next
them.
time I'll make sure to flip it horizontal with a 15% Gaussian blur and like a fucking
Yeah,
a
obviously you just
max
need to watermark
contrast
it
layer.
and put
Yeah.
a bunch of emoticons over all the dialogue in the face and everything.
Yeah, that'd be gas. Speaking of Kagurabachi, you want to talk? It's getting a Western release.
Yeah, yeah, news time. It is
Yeah, let's
getting a
go.
Western release. Apparently, the second fastest Western release for the magazine, like period, which is
Yeah,
crazy. Behind Samurai 8, which is not good tidings, but it's a little bit different.
notably, notably very successful manga.
Yes, but obviously, I mean that one had the one. They were pushing it like crazy, like harder than I've
Yes.
ever seen them push anything else. Um, I mean, they pushed Samurai 8 like every week. I think Yozakura family didn't even get a single tweet about it from the actual account during the entire time that Samurai 8 was alive. And they were pushing Samurai 8 like every week. So
I have obviously never read Samurai 8 in my life. Did you?
I did read it for a while. It's very bad.
What'd you think? Oh, damn.
It's like it's very much Naruto-esque. It's very much
Mhm.
like I must follow my own way of the sword kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, they didn't call it the samurai way, but I think it was really close to that. Um, and it didn't really establish like an identity at any point. The only
Mhm.
part that I thought was neat was like the main character was like crippled or like injured or something in
Mhm.
some way. I feel like I'm remembering that. It's been a while. I read it for a bit and I was like, this is ass. And then it got canceled, so I was right.
It's
Um,
crazy to me that somebody so prolific can write another series and it flops that badly, even though it
yeah,
has like the entire industry behind it.
yeah, literally the like pushed so hard to be like something big, and it just didn't work out. And a lot of it, like visually, it was very strange to follow. Trying to find like a good,
That's because it had a different illustrator, right?
uh, yes, Akira Okubo was the
Right.
artist. Um, and it had visually it looked kind of Naruto-esque. It almost looked like Naruto and One Piece-ish, almost sort of mixed together.
Let's see.
It's very weird, but like there's so many panels where there's so much going on, but there's like no shading or coloring almost at all. So everything is just blobs of white like all over the place. It's nonsensical to follow a lot of the time. Um, but yeah, it just didn't like resonate with people. Obviously, it made it 43 chapters. Um, and
That's pretty
then
standard, I guess. If for like that's right at the very tail end of something that's gonna live, right? Or something that's gonna die. I mean,
probably, and I think that realistically, they probably pushed it a little bit further
yeah.
than they probably wanted it to. You know, like if it didn't
Mhm.
have Kishimoto's name on it, I don't think it would have made it to 43 chapters. That's
Probably
just
not.
me being a little bit pessimistic, I guess. But um, yeah, it's so bad that even the people who are like Kubo is the goat, Boruto is godlike, it's the best anime ever created, even they don't gas Samurai 8. Like they just pretend it doesn't exist. So that's how bad it is.
We all make mistakes,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
Boruto.
like I often talk about Naruto being a fluke is not the right word, but heavily saved in editing in the beginning.
That's
Um,
what I've heard. Yeah, I don't know how true those statements are, but I've heard that the editors were very heavily involved in
well, you
the
got to remember
beginning.
that Kishimoto was a complete amateur before Naruto. He won a contest.
Right.
Um, to get Naruto. Like he wasn't even like because like Horikoshi
Mhm,
would submit stuff and then it would run for a bit and get canceled. You know, like someone
mhm.
trying to break into the industry. Kishimoto just won a contest to get his thing in. The
That's
pilot
crazy.
chapter of Naruto is vastly different.
Mhm.
Um, from I don't know if you've ever read the Naruto pilot chapter. It's insane.
No, I haven't. I also
Naruto.
haven't watched
Um,
Naruto since it was
oh,
on
okay.
Cartoon Network. So,
So the base like pilot Naruto chapter 1. Naruto is not like there's no demon fox sealed in him. He is the fox, and he just takes the
oh,
shape of a boy like to fit in town. But he is the fox. Um, he pees on a child in the pilot chapter.
it's kind of gas.
He tricks a child into a pit and then he pees on him. Um,
What the fuck? Wait,
yeah. Well,
I thought it
it's
was
like
gonna be like a
it's like a
casual.
kid that's like bullying him, and so he tricks him by like
Oh,
making a
okay.
pitfall
I was
trap,
gonna
and
say.
the bully falls in the pitfall trap. Then he pisses on the bully.
I thought he was
Um,
just gonna like be walking around like a fucking dog, and he was just gonna like lift his leg up at a hydrant, like a
no.
cartoon.
He peed on him in human form. Um,
Oh shit, this gets weird. I don't like this
yeah,
anymore.
no, it's not great. But obviously that's not even remotely close to the pilot of what Naruto
Yeah,
actually became.
if you're gonna
Um,
have someone piss on another character and you can turn into a dog, why not just do it as a dog?
yeah, it's not great. Um, and then Sasuke was an editorial requirement. They told him you need to put a rival character in. Um, and so that's why
That editor,
Sasuke exists. Yeah.
that editor ruined a generation.
every every Uchiha TikTok compilation is this one man's fault. Um,
Did you ever see you ever see that guy on TikTok? His name he role played as Sasuke Uchiha like every single day of his life. My girlfriend was obsessed with him.
that's crazy, actually.
Like it was ridiculous, dude. He would start like these TikTok lives and he would like fight people. He would have like duels where they would just do like he would do hand signs at them, and then he would cast jutsu, and then he would hang up on them and be like, "That was a good battle." And then
That's amazing, actually.
he would do it all
I'm
day,
all
every
about
fucking day of
that.
his life. I don't know what he's up to now.
Uh,
I hope he's still doing it though.
yeah, you know what? I respect that. Sometimes you gotta just you gotta be what you can be, you know?
He also apparently legally changed his name to Sasuke Uchiha. I don't
Uh,
know if that part's true.
listen, everybody's got a gimmick, okay? That's fucking insane.
I'm receiving word that apparently he showed his license on stream and his name was in fact Sasuke Uchiha.
That's so insane. Legitimately, like, brain rotted individual. I respect the shit out of it. You know what? If you're gonna commit, you gotta commit. All right, you gotta go 110%.
So yeah, like I said, ruined a generation.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Um, but yeah, Naruto was very editorially involved in the beginning,
Yep.
before it really like got really big and caught on really big. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because that's literally the editor's job.
Yep.
Um, but for the relevance of like Samurai 8 is that they're pushing Samurai 8, marking like Kishimoto as like a vet because he is a big time vet of the industry now.
Mhm.
But like they didn't probably put the same training wheels on him, I would assume, that he had before. Training wheels is a derogatory way to say it. Like a checks and balances. Like how George Lucas just made the prequels, just did whatever the fuck he
Checks
wanted.
and balances like
Yeah,
Kishimoto's the fucking U.S. government.
yeah. Like, because nobody fucking told George Lucas not to put Jar Jar Binks in a movie. They're probably the same way that no one was going to tell Masashi Kishimoto, the third most
Yeah.
successful manga author of all time, no. But the thing that he made that made him really famous, that was really good, had people there to tell him no. And I feel like you need that sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah, a second set of eyes can change a lot. And I'm sure there were a second set of eyes as well, but like a second set of eyes that's more closely intertwined with the production can change a lot.
yeah, it's a valuable to have. And that's not like a slight on Kishimoto, because again, That's
No,
the editor's job to do that.
it's
Like,
I think it's really normal. Like sometimes I make I work on a video and I'm like, is this dog shit? And then I send it to someone like, can you tell me if this is dog shit? And they're like, no, this is good. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
yeah, like collaboration is part of the creative process. Like, I don't mean that as a slight to him, but like,
Yeah,
it's just very telling that when you remove that and try to push a creative, like you're all of a sudden putting everything on their shoulders, and it's just, I,
because now they're experienced.
yeah, and it's weird because like I can't think of very many mangaka that are just like they just do whatever they want, except for like Akira Toriyama, which, and I guess Eiichiro Oda at this point is certainly doing whatever he wants to do. But those are the two
Fujimoto.
most successful. Well, Fujimoto, I don't think wants to be doing manga right now, so
Yeah, maybe not.
I would argue that that is not necessarily the point. But like you know, Oda is one of the most successful manga of all time. So is Toriyama. So I think they can just do whatever the fuck they want. But for most people, I feel like this should be a collaborative thing. You know, like they tried to get Tite Kubo in there doing it, and all of a sudden, like he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna be serializing Burn the Witch. I don't think. I think I'm gonna just make it and be out. You know.
Yeah,
I think it's a healthier way to do it. I feel like people like Horikoshi could use more help so that he's not ill every 3 days.
I don't mean this in a slander way. I genuinely mean that. I don't think Horikoshi should ever make a manga again because this is terrible for his health.
Yeah, I feel like if he's gonna do it, it needs to be something with something else. Like
I
he can't just
think
go in and run the ship again.
I think his level of artistry is an active detriment to
I actually
his
think so too.
life.
I think so too. Undebatably, in my opinion, the best artist in the book right now in terms of just art
He
quality.
is
Uh,
genuinely unbelievable.
but
That comes at
that's
a
why
cost.
he's constantly putting in 13-page
Yeah.
chapters and he's sick every week, is because he's probably running up to the deadline and he's 6 pages under and he has nightmares about getting canceled, so he's probably
Yeah.
stressed by the fact that he's constantly submitting under stuff and running
hmm
up to deadline because of his art is like that. Like it's rough. It can't be easy.
And I'm not saying this is shit on Fujimoto, but if Hori like, because I would say Fujimoto's art has gotten like a little less clean in part two, which
Yeah,
I don't
and
have an issue with.
I think we talked about that a little bit
Yeah, I think we did because of the
prior.
gun,
Yeah, the
the thing
photo
that I
copy it or
yeah
whatever gun.
thing that we
Yeah,
didn't give a shit about.
yeah. Well, people do. Some people do for some reason.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and I
think
think they said
Horikoshi
that like it's because there's an
like
artist or not an artist, an assistant decline, but
oh well
or like there's fewer, so Fujimoto's doing more of it on his own. And
whatever the reason is, I don't care.
well, yeah, I don't really care either. But I've seen people also saying that like Fujimoto has said he doesn't want to draw anymore, like he's over it.
Mm.
I don't know if that's true. Supposedly it's an interview, but conveniently nobody ever posts the interview when they say that. You know, the old
Just like all the times that Horikoshi got death threats.
yeah, or the Toriyama classic where someone will just post an image with his face on it and then just like a bunch of shit he never said and be like
Yeah,
from
we
the
should start doing that.
interview.
We should start
Uh,
doing that. He
we
should
really
shout
should.
out S&C. Yeah,
Yeah, every every week we have a different quote from
yeah.
a
Change the
mangaka
background of the podcast.
that's just their face and some shit they never said. I'm all about that. But yeah, it's the state of the magazine in general. I feel like we talk about this a lot too, but I feel like the state of the
Well,
magazine is not great. You
we
know?
talk about the state of the magazine a lot because this is indeed a weekly Shonen Jump podcast, so it comes up sometimes. And also, I am, despite being on a weekly Shonen Jump podcast, I am a proponent of this magazine not existing anymore. So,
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because I like shonen stuff. I like reading it. I like talking about it. I really wish it wasn't being made in the way that it's being made
yeah,
now. I just don't understand why, like, if Jump Plus is the way it is and seems to be working fine, why do we still have people like killing themselves to try to get this book out every week?
I imagine it'll take a long time, but I do think we'll see a switch to primarily digital media. um, I would say Weekly Shonen Jump as a magazine, the days are numbered. I don't think it's gonna last another 15 years as a
I'm
physical
hesitant
magazine.
just because I know how resistant that kind of like industry like that is to change.
Mhm.
That I feel like you're gonna have people fighting tooth and nail to never deviate,
Please,
you know?
please let us kill these people, please. Please. Don't make
Um,
me tell don't make me tell John Jump about this. I'll
Jonathan
tell
Shonen
Mr.
Jump.
Tell tell Jonathan Jump that you don't want to kill these artists anymore. He's gonna get so mad.
He's gonna get pissed when he sees Horikoshi come in and he's looking healthy and he's eating.
The bags under his eyes are gone. Oh my god, dude.
Who let Kohei Horikoshi have calories?
All Jonathan Jump provides the mangaka is like 1 calorie brick, and they get to lick on it throughout the drawing
Yeah,
process.
it's like a salt lick cube.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. It's just like those freeze-dried meals that the astronauts take into
Yeah,
space, but they don't even get the water, so they just have to
yeah.
dump the flakes in their mouth.
It's all Jump branded and shit too. It's got Asta on it saying "Never give up."
Surpass your limits. Oh my god.
Shonen Jump, huh? Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, Shonen Jump magazine. Everybody's favorite. All right. What's your top 3 this week?
Number 3 is Ruri Dragon. Number 2 is Kill Blue, and number 1 is Kagurabachi.
Okay. I like that. I think I'm gonna put Ruri Dragon at number 3. I wasn't super in love with it, but I want to talk about the fact that it's back, so I'll put it as number 3 so that we can talk about it. I think that my number 2 is Blue Box,
That's
and then
fair.
my number 1 is obviously Kagurabachi. No,
Of
no
course,
questions
of
asked,
course,
of
yeah.
course. Um, all right, so then let's jump into the usual suspects first.
All right,
I
One
know
Piece,
it's
let's
your
go.
least. I know it's your least favorite segment, but we'll do My Hero Academia first, if I remember the last time they put a chapter out was.
Yeah, let me. I'm scrolling through to make sure. Oh, that's right. It's that chapter that ends in like 7 pages, and it.
Yeah,
Okay.
11-page chapter. And
Um.
look at dude, look at page 3. Does it really need to look? I'm not saying that like you should sacrifice your art quality. I'm just saying that if you can't hit deadlines and you're like sick and you're like wheezing, then maybe you don't need to
Draw
draw
the
every single little tiny facet of a Nomu's tooth.
draw
You
the
know?
best Nomu you've ever
The
drawn in your
the
fucking
single
life.
best Nomu you've ever created. It took you 48 hours straight to get this Nomu on page. Like, man, is it worth it? Just for your own physical
It's a
need?
pretty good
Like, is it
drawing.
worth
I
it?
mean, even the next pages are crazy, man. Everything. Oh, he's just such a good artist. Shame about the rest. Anyway, so um, I'm not like I'm not inherently against this idea of them doing memory sharing shit. I do think it's a band-aid fix to the fact that Deku and Shigaraki never got a dynamic outside of they have the same shoes.
Yeah, I
And
think it's got to be a lot of that, right? Because there's just nothing
yeah,
between them as like actual characters. It's only thematic elements
yeah.
that are between them.
Yeah, and I like don't get me wrong, the thematic elements are good, but I feel like if they were able to develop an actual relationship over the course of Act 3, if Act 3 wasn't like 3 arcs, this would have hit way harder. It also would have hit way harder if Deku got to have a relationship with any of these vestiges that he's giving up, because I don't really care.
Yeah, the whole like I have to surrender the vestiges or whatever. Like I haven't seen if anyone cares about this. I imagine there's some people on Twitter who are like, "Oh my God, no, not him." And it's like, "Doug, you don't even know. These are people that died before the book started. Like you don't even know these people." And I don't know how to care about them. And I think part of the reason that it's hard for me to care about them is that it feels like they came out of nowhere and then just like took over. Like, oh,
Yeah,
all of
they
a
took
sudden
over.
it's our plan and
I
Deku's just the
yeah,
body enacting what we want to do.
yeah, I think I
Um,
bitched about this last episode. I don't remember. That's like the whole issue with this fight is that the second that you could have given time for Deku to do things, he gets hijacked by dead people and he doesn't think at all. Yeah, actually, I think we did talk about that. I think I already did talk about that because someone commented that Deku's supposed to be a flat character. That's right. That's right.
oh yeah, he's supposed to be a flat character, which means he's not supposed to do anything in the narrative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, which is crazy. I actually don't mind that Eri is in it. I know a lot of people don't like her for reasons that I don't know. Uh, I assume most
It's
of the reasons people don't like her is the imminent threat of all of the consequences being undone by her existence, but I like her otherwise.
as somebody who knows what happens in the next chapter because of our recording day, I will not speak on the end of this chapter.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I don't read the MHA uh, leaks unless they are literally thrust in my face by my timeline, so I don't know what happens next time. Um, but all right, we'll leave it there then, because apparently something goes down. Um,
I'm a good boy. I don't talk about leaks.
obviously. Okay, then we'll jump to Jujutsu Kaisen. Um,
Um, really rough art in this chapter. Speaking of art, by the way.
yeah, my assumption, this is the same thing that happened when he was doing the Zenin
Yep.
thing. Even like the same style of rough
Exactly. Yeah.
underdeveloped art, like the thicker pen strokes where it looked a lot sketchier, a lot faster. He's just trying
hmm
to get it on the page. Um, my
Probably fixing
assumption
the
is that
volume.
he's again not feeling it, and it's an off. There's another chapter after this one because obviously the leak's already out.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's a week off again. So I don't know if he's under the weather or feeling down or what it is, but he's certainly not 100%.
hmm
Um, so I'm hoping that he improves. The combat was cool. Maki
Yeah.
is a cool character, but I am growing very numb to it.
Yuta really came and went, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. And that's just sort of a thing that seems to happen to everyone.
Yeah. At least
Is
he's not
they,
dead. Oh, I guess that counts for something.
yeah, I guess. It's just like every character seems to show up and get like their 2 chapters of shine,
Yeah.
and then they get absolutely blasted by Sukuna, and then they're just gone. And it's like, next in line, please, to get blasted. Why aren't you fighting him all at one time?
Did we talk about um the last chapter where Yuji seemingly used blood manipulation? I don't remember if we talked about that or not.
I'm not sure. Where
I
he,
don't remember.
well, let's do it anyway. Let's do it right now.
Okay, I really liked that. I thought that was fucking badass.
Yeah, where he explodes his blood on his face.
Yeah, and the Sukuna's like, wait, what? And he looks at him and he's doing like the hand motion. That's fucking. I like that a lot. That's sick.
Yeah. And also, I kind of like that it has not been confirmed if Yuji can use it or not. Like
hmm
I feel like this does confirm it, like effectively. Um,
Yeah.
but I do like how they have kind of left it up in the air because it makes
Mhm.
moments like this cool when it happens. I feel like a lot of criticism that Jujutsu Kaisen gets is that we don't know how XYZ works, but sometimes I kind of like that because it leads to exciting moments, you know?
hmm Um. So in chapter 252, on the bottom of page 14, Viz did not bother translating it, but you can see Sukuna doing the first few parts of the chant behind the do 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 sound. I don't know if you see those little kanji because
Wait,
in the
which page are we
next
talking
page,
about? Which page are we talking about?
page 14 with the Maki panel, in the bottom, like behind the sound effects, you could see little kanji because he's chanting, but Viz I guess didn't notice it and didn't translate it.
Oh, yeah, because I remember people were saying like, "Oh my God, he can do it without chanting now." But yeah, you're
No,
right. Yeah, they are
he
right there.
sneaks it in. He sneaks it in. Maki hears the third one, and so that does mean that he has to chant it, which means that he killed Gojo by going, I really hope he doesn't hear me.
Well, my assumption is that he didn't do the. Okay, so there's either two things here.
There's a binding vow thing, right? I don't remember
There,
exactly.
one of the theories is that it was a binding vow. Um, and so he like did some shenanigans and did some sort of binding vow. Like the theory is that he gave up 10 shadows
Wouldn't it be
to be
really
able to
cool
do
if
it.
we saw what happened?
Yeah, that's what kind of my thing is that after it happens, the reveal possibility of excitement is gone.
Yeah.
Um, and so then it's like, uh, then you can just explain it and it's okay. The other possibility that I've seen is that that he did chant and it just wasn't shown, and Gojo was just like, haha, you don't have Maharaga, this won't do anything. Which, if that's the case, is supremely fucking stupid. That
Would have been crazy if we saw it.
Yeah, yeah, and I get he wanted it to be cool. They're like, oh my God, like what happened? Whoa, mind blown. But afterward, you could just explain it, right? Like
And
you could just
so
tell us.
I guess I know there's something about how like Maki could just see this shit, right? But
Yeah,
like,
Maki
is this
can see the slash basically.
is it, like we just know like either Gojo couldn't see it or you just couldn't dodge it? Like, man, if only we saw it.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like the assumption is that that he either like. Well, also I don't understand why it flies forward either, because like that doesn't make sense to me by virtue of how it works. You know? Because my whole thing that I thought was that he was applying the slash to the space that Gojo occupied. And
Mhm.
so it didn't have to go through Limitless, it was basically spawning inside of it. That was my initial read of what happened. But now he's just throwing them like projectiles, so I really don't understand why that would not be impacted by Limitless. Like, why would it not just stop there? Unless it's literally just this technique goes through Limitless, which I guess it is what it is. But
Man,
um,
if only we got to see
yeah,
what happened.
if only we had some form of explanation as to what was going on.
And it's weird because there's even people in my Discord who are like adamant that it being off screen isn't a problem. And I honestly, I think the longer it goes on, the more of a problem it is. I think when it first happened, you could argue that it's not like it's less of a problem than people are making it out to be.
Well, see,
But
I
the more
think,
information we get, the worse it is.
yeah, that's the thing, is the more that we see the world slash get used, the dumber it looks that it hit Gojo to begin with.
Yeah, trust, trust. This is just Bakugo again. He's gonna get back up.
You know, at this point, I'm legitimately starting to think he might live because, like,
How
what's
do you
left?
win?
Who's left? Yuta's down. Hikari's still fighting this fraud with the ice. Like,
Give
who's left?
Maki 35 seconds, and I'm sure this will be over.
Yeah, Maki jumped in, and it's her turn to fight for 2 chapters before she gets like split in half by some random shit that Sukuna's like, actually, I've been reserving this. Honestly, I don't really like the way that Yuta went out either because the whole like their whole plan was like we have to make it so he has to hold Hollow Wicker Basket. That way he can't world slash us. And the way that he wins is by going, fuck it, I'm gonna just world slash him and just eat it. So if he could have tanked it the whole time, why did he just do that?
Honestly, at first, last chapter, it looked like it was a good slash, but I thought you two would have been fine. But like, it looks like he almost got Gojo'd.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he ain't
Yeah,
looking good. Um, he got
it's just
saved by the little kid who like made a point to jump in and grab him, so I think it's fine. Like I think
yeah. I
if
think
he
it.
was
Yeah,
dead, I don't think it would have been such a they wouldn't have risked Uiui like that.
the revolving door is just not that fun.
That yeah, that's my problem. Is like I'm very tired of like the endless oh,
The
it's time
revolving
for the
door
next
feature.
person to fight.
The revolving door featuring Yuji's fucking heart attack, his cardiac arrest.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I still think it's really funny that the only reason Sukuna hasn't lost yet is because Megami refused to lock in. He's like, you know what? I'm not doing this.
Also, yeah, who gives a shit? I don't. I think the only people that like really care about Hikari versus Urame are like, let's just say that for Hikari there might be more bots than the 2016 election. That's really the only thing I can think of. As soon as I hit the page turn and I saw Hikari, I was like, come on.
Yeah, well, I am hoping that we don't jump back to that like for too long because, like you said, no one gives a shit about this fight. I don't even think Hikari and Urome give a shit about this fight. So I don't know why you would even want to begin to go into it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I hope that it doesn't focus on them and it just goes to something else. And I hope something happens. I know things are happening, but we've just been fighting Sukuna in this city for like ages, dude. And I'm ready for
Taking
other
turns as well.
stuff to occur.
taking turns like good boys.
Yeah, we're not gonna fight them all together. We're gonna take our chances.
All right, Kashimo, you get. All right, Yuji Higuruma, you got.
Higuruma, it's your yeah. Whose turn is it now?
Chozo, get in there. Oh shit.
Yeah, I know
Yuta,
this
get in there.
is
Oh man. All right, Maki. Oh,
only a matter of
uh,
time.
Junpei, come back.
We're gonna hit the point where it's literally just gonna be like Yuji and Choso are gonna be like the only ones left, and
Yeah.
they're gonna inexplicably somehow make it happen. And it's so unbelievable. That's the problem. Is every time Sukuna no diffs somebody, that it makes it even more unrealistic that the people who are left are gonna win.
I feel like I would have already enjoyed this fight more if I was not repeatedly reminded that Sakuda is hashtag not taking this fight seriously, considering
That is
he has
so
almost
annoying too.
he has almost died like 4 times.
Every single time that someone goes, man, if only Sukuna actually cared about this fight, at like my interest level plummets because it's like, oh, okay, he's holding back still. The heroes have done like everything in their entire arsenal, and he's like, ah, I am simply him. Like,
I was never taking this fight seriously. Only against Gojo did I feel nervous for the first time in my fucking life.
yeah, and like the best part is this isn't even like Sukuna saying, "Oh, I'm not even interested." It's another character being
Yeah,
like, "He doesn't even care." It's like, will you just like the level of meat riding is insane. Like he's doing Tony Hawk on it. It's crazy. Like just let him
I'm.
be slightly not an
He's not
invincible
even.
god.
He's not even that serious. Has his heart gapes, fucking is pouring blood all over the fucking floor.
Yeah, like
He took a strategic nap against Gojo as well.
yeah, the whole like I understand the logic where like you don't necessarily have to be going 100% to be trying. Like you can be putting in effort without going as hard as you possibly can. I get that. But he took a sword through the heart. So at some
Yeah,
point, it might be nice if he was like, I am in some vague level of danger, as opposed to
maybe,
just not caring
maybe,
at all.
maybe a little bit of like, oh, that might not be good when Jacob's Ladder came out. I don't know.
Yeah, the move that had him like screeching as he got almost obliterated last time he got hit, and this time he doesn't even look that injured. He's just like kind of like a little bit of burns on him, sort of, that are gone already. And that was a maximum output Jacob's Ladder from Utah too.
Yeah,
And he's like, I'm fine, I'm good.
yeah, we're chilling. That's
And
a
I
cool
just,
Jacob's Ladder. Unfortunately, World Slash.
unfortunately, I am hashtag him. So perhaps you should have thought of that before we started fighting. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just every time he beats a hero, I'm like, oh, okay. So we're just completely out of characters. Like what? I've even seen some people think at this point it's gonna be where he wins right here and institutes the merger or whatever, and then the heroes like rally back later, like in another arc after this,
I
and
thought you were gonna say
they
that.
win.
I thought you were gonna say everyone gets defeated and Gojo comes like he comes back to the fight.
No, no, like everyone loses here, and the merger happens, and then in the next arc is about like preparing to
Mm.
fix everything again, which might be the way it goes. But also, I'm gonna be really annoyed if that's what it is, because why do we need to fight him for like 9.5 months for it to be like, haha, he wins. Just make it win faster.
He wins and half of our people are dead. So
Yeah, I don't know, man. The excitement for me is gone. I understand that some people enjoy the appeal of just like coolness. For me, the excitement has dried up for a while, I
man,
think.
Kashimo fucking blows, man.
Yeah, you sure fucking it does. Kashima's the worst. Did you see the fan art that was what's Hakari's friend's name?
Kirara.
Kirara. Yeah, where it's Kirara and it's like Kirara's helping recover the bodies from the battlefield and it's just a plastic bag full of Kashima's pieces. It's so
All
funny.
right, that's a
It's
good one.
so good. All right. We'll move on from this. We'll jump into Ruri Dragon.
It's really like it never went anywhere, which is I appreciate.
Yeah, I mean,
Really
this
just
is
taking it back
I'm
up.
actually surprised that it came back because it was gone for so long. I was like, this person's health must be like
I'm
really
starting
in the
starting to
show.
have feelings again.
Yeah, it's the thing with Ruri Dragon is that it's very slice of life. Almost nothing really occurs in this chapter, but it was very like I don't know. There's something about it, man. It's got vibes to it.
I this is a big compliment from the Japanese fandom as well. I do enjoy how everyone is very nonchalant about Ruri being a dragon and how like they don't make it define her or anything. It's really Ruri that makes it the biggest deal, obviously because she's turning into a fucking dragon, so it's kind of concerning. But like everyone in her life is like, yeah, that's fine, man. Like that's chill. Which is why like in this chapter when we get Ruri thinking like, oh, does she not like me because I'm a dragon? I'm assuming it's never going to be anything like that in this series. Or even that it has to do something about Ruri as a person. It's probably going to be a secret third thing that will probably be the main plot hook to come for at least for this arc maybe. Because I do think Ruri Dragon got paused right before its like first major hook. Because I don't think it's going to be like 200 chapters of her at school getting new powers every time. There's probably going to be she's a fucking dragon. She's going to fight something at some point. So
Yeah, I mean, they even kind of talk about it in this one. It's like, wow, you could fight crime with those powers.
yeah,
Something's good. She's gonna do something with them. Um, but yeah, my favorite character is her mom, easily,
yeah,
because she's like, hey, mom, all this terrible stuff is happening, and she's like, oh yeah, it's chill. I
it
gotta go.
happens, man.
I gotta bounce. See ya. I think that her mom
It
is very funny.
seems honestly, now that I think about it, it can be you could probably make it analogous to just like general growing up as well. Just like the hardships of growing up. Like you call your mom or your dad and you're like, hey, this developmental thing is happening to me, and they're just like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it is very like that, where you're like, oh my God, the worst thing ever just happened to me, and they're like, yeah, this happens
yeah.
to everyone. But it's
Like the
funny with
growing
that
pains.
level of nonchalance about like, hey, I'm shooting lightning out of my horns.
Yeah. It's like I can see this happening in some like real life teenage girl situation where like some developmental thing happens to them and like they call their mom and they're like, this just happened to me, and their mom's like, oh yeah, what are we gonna do
Yep,
about
that's
it?
gonna
Like
happen. Yeah, like even the little bit where she's like, if you're that uncomfortable, I could come pick you up from school. Like if it's
yeah,
that big of a deal, you know? It's
yeah.
funny.
I think it's cute and I like it.
Yeah, Ruri Dragon, immaculate vibes. Ruri Dragon plus Kagurabachi in the book at the same time
Oh,
might be saving
same.
fiction. Unfortunately, Ruri Dragon's not going to be in the book for very long. It's going Jump Plus after this, but that's much
Yes,
better for the artist, so I'm happy for them.
I will still be reading and talking about it.
Yes, very, very happy for them that they're getting a schedule that acclimates to them a little bit easier.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed it. Like even before, I liked Blue Dragon before it was cool. I read it when it first
Yeah,
came out, and I was like, this
yeah.
is nice.
This is nice. I like this. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
and then it did exceptionally well.
Yeah, it did. It did do very. I'm actually surprised how well it did for the type of content that it covers, I suppose you could say.
No Coomerism, no
Zero
rawness.
Coomerism, no rawness and swag, just positive vibes at all times.
Maybe there is a
And I
future in
think
this
that's what I
industry.
like about it. Sometimes it's okay to just like media that is nice.
It
You
feels
know?
like it is. It feels like it succeeded against all odds. I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay
Considering
to
the
just.
shit that we've seen succeed in this magazine, I don't know. Like I
Oh,
would
that's true.
like show me Rui Dragon. Like if Rui Dragon started today, I would have seen it and be like, this is really cute, but it's done.
It's finished already. It's chapter 2. No
Yeah.
chance. But it's doing really well, and I'm very happy for the artist. I'm glad they were able to get back. It's kind of crazy that it's
Mhm.
been gone for so long, and they did still manage to get back.
I know.
When it started getting to like a really long time, I was like, Ruri Dragon's not coming back. I was waiting for the inevitable announcement of like, we're unfortunately not able to continue. But he did bring it back. Um,
I'm hoping interest is still there in Volume 2 does just as well as Volume 1 does or did.
it seemed, I mean, Twitter is not real life, so I know it's not like a representative of the populace, but there was a lot of excitement that I saw for it coming back. So I do hope that translates to success for it. It's very deserved, I will say that.
Yeah.
All right, so the next up we have Blue Box.
Past couple chapters are alright. I did like the most recent one quite a
Yeah,
bit.
I'm a big fan of this one. I really like sports stuff in general. Um, Taiki taking game one, super cool. And then I like
He's fucked.
yeah, oh, he's totally fucked. And that's what I love. It has such good sports like manga vibes when that happens,
Yeah,
because it's very like, oh, we did it, and then the ace player on the other team is like, all
yeah.
right, I need to try now, and you're like,
Dude,
oh
I
god,
I turned that page and I saw I've done my fair share of growing too, and I was like, that's cold, dude.
he's
He's
fucked.
fucked.
Yeah, he's about to get blasted, dude. He's about to get lit up, and that's what I love. Like, it's funny to me because this series, when it does the romance stuff, it does it really well.
Mhm.
And then when it does the sports stuff, it does it really well. So I'm like amazed that it's able to do both of these things as well as it does them. Because you'd think when you're trying to balance two lines like this, one of them is going to suffer, right?
Mhm.
But I think he does both really well, and it always works for me. I don't know if there's people out there who are like, I don't give a shit about the badminton, go back to the romance.
I've definitely seen some people say that they feel like the sports part of this manga is kind of undercooked, but I don't care. I think the sports stuff in this manga is. I can see why people wouldn't care about it, but also I do think it has a purpose.
Well, yeah, it's
In
a companion to the
Yeah,
romance. Like
it's
it's there to
oftentimes a benchmark for these characters and where they are in their life,
yeah, which is
because
important.
their emotional maturity is often often intertwined with their interpersonal relationships as well.
Yeah, and it's, and important to have that kind of metric of like these characters have lives outside of each other. Like I think something that
Mhm.
really annoys me about a lot of romance series is that the characters feel like they don't exist outside of
Yeah.
liking each other, you know? So having these characters that have, realistic life goals that have nothing to do with being with the other person, and that's just
Mhm.
something else they do with their time, it matters a lot to me and in my enjoyment of it at the very least.
Yeah, I like Blue Box. It's fun. Uh, the anime would be cool too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I don't watch a whole lot of anime. I might actually watch this one. We'll
Yeah, I
see.
don't either, but you know,
Yeah, I just anime's too slow for me. I have like terrible ADHD brain, and I don't
I'll watch
like
a few
sitting still for
episodes
half an
and then
hour. Yeah.
I'll watch a few episodes and I'll be like, all right, that's cool, and then I'll probably never touch it again. It's kind of how I was with the Undead Unluck anime too, because the anime is
I
very
still haven't
frustrating.
watched that. Everyone has been dumping on it so hard online that I've just been like, it's
It
probably not good, is
is
it?
flashback central to the point that it is very frustrating.
Oh, right. Was it you that said they flash back to something in the same episode that already occurred?
The entire scene, yes.
That's crazy. So they just play the same scene twice.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, that's
It's because
really
if
terrible.
outside of the flashback stuff, it's a pretty good adaptation, but the pacing is so fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's that's got to be like a production volume issue. Like we can't get enough
Something
people
like that,
to do
maybe.
it, so we need to reuse the cuts.
Maybe it's bad scheduling. I don't know anything about Undead Unluck's production, so I have no clue. But I feel like either it's the world's worst creative decision or it's a production issue. Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine anyone would think it's a good creative decision. Like, we're not
Well,
geniuses out here saying people like content that's not recycled content. Um,
well, but I got news for you. When you meet John Flashback, inventor of the flashback.
man, I don't know. That sucks. I like Undead Unluck.
Yeah.
Shame it's not getting what it should be getting. But we should move on before because I saw people point out last time, wow, the Sakamoto segment's really long. That means they didn't talk about it at all, doesn't it?
True.
We're doing the same thing with Blue Box now. Um, we'll hop into the other number two, which was Kill Blue.
Listen, guys, if you listen to a Shonen and Chill episode and you don't expect us to go on tangents, like, is this your first time here? Is this your first rodeo on Dude, I do the same
Yeah,
thing
I
with
kind
Ocean
of
Man
thought the
every time.
tangents were the appeal, to be honest.
Whenever I'm streaming and Ocean Man hops in, we do the same thing. Anything I'm currently talking about is gone for the next hour and a half.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's the appeal. I don't know. I like the vague lack of structure where we just kind of go. Feels
Yeah.
very what do you would call it, like authentic, if you ask
I
me.
like honestly, I like our intros the most. I think they're the most fun part because it's like where we don't have a structure and it's just 40 minutes of us fucking around.
Yeah, but like again, I think that's good. I
Yeah.
like that.
No, I do like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kill Blue. It was good. I
Yeah.
liked it a lot actually.
Yeah, I was
All
okay
right,
on it.
let's
I
move on.
wasn't
No.
huge on it. I don't really understand
Um,
mahjong, so I saw it and I was like, ah. But thankfully, it did. They didn't linger on it for too long.
so like for the past couple of chapters, there's been with the cop kid or whatever. There's been like this. Oh, he's really attentive. Is he a secret spy, or is it because Ogami is lacking? And a good way to put it, this is like an analogy that I thought of while reading this, is like video game matchmaking, right? If you're a really good player and like you smurf or something and you start playing with the low ranks, you're gonna pick back up a lot of bad habits or like a lot of bad play so that you could stomp on them. But then when you get back up to the when you start getting back to the big boys, you're gonna have all these bad habits and stuff that's gonna fuck you over. And I think Ogami had the same thing because he was dealing with literal middle schoolers, so he didn't have to worry about being a top secret fucking assassin for a little bit. And so now that he's back with the big boys, he's getting caught lacking a little bit. Um,
Hmm.
I really have enjoyed the underlying tension that of this life Ogami has developed completely collapsing. And I do think Kill Blue for a little bit is floundering a little bit. I still enjoyed it, but a little bit of what does he even do? But
Yeah, it hit the for me it hit that point right in the middle of like the let's surf for his love mini arc where I was like,
yeah,
what is the point of this actually? Like what's happening here? Is it I was a little worried it was going to do the Witch Watch thing where it would like tease that oh, there's a narrative and then it would just kind of be like
oh
not really though. Not really though. We're going to do some
well,
bullshit today.
yeah, we're here now though.
Yeah, but this was cool. I
It
also think the
was
final line is pretty cold. The I said I don't want to fight you. That doesn't mean I'm not capable of it. I thought that was pretty
yeah.
sick.
I really enjoyed revisiting Ogami's goals. Like I said, because the series has been floundering, so it felt like a good. It felt like we touched base with Kill Blue again. We spent a bit fucking around, but he does ultimately want to go back to his original body, despite how much he's enjoyed living a life he never got to live. But he's willing to give it all up to save these kids because why wouldn't he?
Yeah, the
So
the the panel of him catching the gun
yeah,
is pretty sick.
so he finally blows the whistle in front of somebody who he shouldn't blow the whistle in front
Yeah,
of the
like
the
the
guy the
worst
guy who's a,
person to
in,
blow it in front of.
in front of the guy who is personally going to arrest Maimura.
He's the guy who's got the names up on the board.
Yeah, he's leaking shonen manga. How dare you? But I liked Kill Blue quite a bit, and I'm glad that we're getting to a plot now.
Yeah. Slice of life stuff in a series that doesn't like commit to it 100%, kind of like how Kill Blue kind of goes back and forth between it. Can kind of feel slow by comparison, like almost like a filler chapter because like you've seen that it can do cool stuff and then it's like, we're gonna not do that anymore.
I think
Uh,
it also felt especially egregious weekly.
yeah, and again, it also got very tiring of the constant like, oh, is this gonna be weird? Is it gonna be weird? Oh no, it's not.
Yeah,
Oh no, it's not. Okay. Oh wait, are we doing
yeah,
it again? Are we getting weird? No, no. Okay. Like there's only so
not
many
great.
times you can poke the bear before it starts feeling very intentional. Um, but the newer stuff is good. I have been enjoying it more the past few chapters than I have in a while.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm excited.
All right, well then now we can get now
Talk
all
about real,
the
yeah.
crap is over. It's time to get into the real media here. Time to get into
Thank
real
God.
fiction.
All right,
Yeah,
can
we
I
did
can
our
I
time.
can I get a really big confession off of my chest right now?
Absolutely.
I'm really not good at like being like nut fountained with like Japanese terminology. So a lot of these organizations kind of blend together in my head that they
Yeah,
talk
I can
about.
see that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I that
It,
is true for me too. It's easier for me with Japanese stuff, maybe just because I've been reading this crap my whole life, so I'm more
yeah,
like accustomed to it. It was really tough for me in, I don't know if you ever read it. I don't know if we read it for this or if this was before your time. Jiangxi X.
no, I didn't read that.
Okay, so that was like a Ocean Man's final a
God
few
rest his soul.
episodes. Yeah, rip him. It was all Chinese stuff, like naming conventions
Uh,
and stuff. And because I guess just because I'm not used to that and I'm more used to Japanese naming convention, it was impossible, dude. They would say like three names and I was just gone. Like my whole brain had shut down.
yeah,
It's a little bit easier for me with Japanese stuff. I think purely from exposure. I don't know any Japanese. I'm not one of those people that's like, actually, I've watched Boku no Hero Academia, and so I know how to speak it a little. Like I'm not
It
any of those
sucks
people.
because I do have like maybe at best an infant's level understanding of speaking Japanese. It's still fucking it's hard for me. If I sat down and I reread all of Kagurabachi and I parsed through all the terminology, I'd probably get it. But like just reading it when it comes out, it's kind of tough sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that. Um, it was a
But
cool chapter though. The guy's power,
yes,
very unique, very cool way to do it
I
because
very much like these chapters.
yeah, the idea of like going from Sogo to like another person right afterwards, it's like, uh-oh, he's the next big
Yeah,
like he now has this sword power. Going from that to someone who's like, actually, I can't fight at all. I will
yeah,
lose immediately, but you can't fight me anyway.
yeah.
Very cool decision.
I really like the stuff from Chihiro. I liked reaping what we sowed with Sojo, where he recognizes that these blades are brutal, but he's still gonna wield them to save people. It almost feels like that this entire situation with the girl I can't remember the name of. It feels like analogous to a gun control debate. You know what I mean? Good guy with a gun versus like regulation by the state.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
Although I'm
I'm not
I'm still
sure.
confused because I thought Chihiro kind of counted as the state. So I guess I don't really know what he is anymore. I thought he
No,
was like a
I think
cop.
he's just a. I think he's just a dude.
But
I'm
isn't
pretty
doesn't
sure
he work with that org that helped them earlier, or is he just like a Batman?
he was just a Batman. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
I think most of the time he's just a dude who knows Shiba, who apparently I believe he has connections, and sometimes he goes to the cops. He's like, "Yeah, I'll kill someone." I'm not sure what path Kagurabachi will take because it definitely seems like with the introduction of the person I can't remember the name of, we were priming for a discussion on how much of this power should be regulated by the state,
Hmm.
which I think is a really cool thing to introduce, and I hope it continues on that. Um, you want to talk about the translation drama with the girl as well?
The issue where her gender is wrong in English and only in English.
Yes, only in English.
Only in which I don't understand. The actual yeah. Apparently they also changed her name. Not in English. That's just the
Did they?
Japanese version. Apparently, her first
Oh,
appearance has a different name, and then all the later appearances they change it. So
oh,
I guess the official name is the second one. I don't know, but I did see them say that that was not the name that they gave her on when she was introduced.
oh.
Um,
Okay. Weird shit going on, huh?
yeah, yeah, it's weird, but yeah, it's kind of it's not just the Kagurabachi thing, but I think the fact that it's
Yeah,
also impacting Kagurabachi too, like just the sheer volume, because you see it with MHA, you see it with JJK all the time.
that's how you know we
Um,
made it, dude.
yeah, right. They have the shitty translator on it. Um, it's just weird that like it seems to happen so often with the English stuff.
Seeing yeah, seeing the English or sorry, seeing the Japanese raw, I don't know how the Viz translator came to the conclusion they did. I don't understand it. Now again, I'm not proficient in Japanese. But I read that I don't understand how they came to that conclusion.
And again, I, I don't know how translation works. I don't know if it's literally
Mhm.
a case of they just plop some shit on a desk and they're like, write that in English now, or what it is. But I feel like on something as simple as character, like gender, or like, whatever they express themselves as,
Mhm.
that has to be, there's got to be some guidance on this, right? Like,
Mhm.
because the exact same thing happened with Oraume in JJK,
Yeah,
where
who I'm pretty sure doesn't have a like a
always
stated gender,
neutral,
right?
always
Yeah.
neutral pronouns. But then in English, they give them female pronouns. Um, and I don't know if that is because they see something like, because I know Japanese can be weird with it, and you can like read a
Yeah,
neutral pronoun as like not necessarily the same way that English would consider they like to mean anyone,
yeah.
and
So
more like it could be used for a man or woman, like
some
kind of thing.
people say that Japanese doesn't have pronouns. As far as I'm aware, that's not exactly true. It's just there's a shit ton of different ways to refer to people. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and I know there's like based on how polite you're being. There's like four different
Yeah.
versions of the pronoun and everything, and
Yeah.
yeah, which is crazy. But I just don't understand how it seems to happen so often. Um,
I don't know. It would be cool. I don't know if it would ever work, but it'd be cool if I could speak to like a Viz translator to see what's going on. Maybe I'll try that actually. I'm gonna write this down.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
Um, because it just seems to happen a lot where like, and again, I don't think it's like, oh, they have bad translators. I think it's more just like it's got to one of it's got to be a workload thing because again,
Yeah.
these are like, when does this book drop in Japan? Like middle of the week?
Shonen Jump?
Yeah,
It drops on Monday.
Monday. Okay, so
Yeah.
they get it like a week, I guess, to do it to get everything translated and
Uh,
pushed.
I believe I'm not exactly sure. I uh, actually I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that. Never mind. I think
Up,
they have
up.
some time.
Okay. Well, then I don't know. I mean, because I think there's a difference between like that's a weird detail to get wrong, and
Yeah.
like the egregious incorrectness, like from John Wary's stuff in Jujutsu Kaisen, is
Yeah.
like unbelievably wrong, right? Like there's no way to justify it. Like when he says Malevolent Shrines adaptation, like how could you possibly? I don't even really know how you could have gotten that because Sukuna doesn't say Malevolent Shrine in the actual Japanese
Mm-hmm.
like text. So I don't know if he's like reading the word technique and he's like, well, that's this, right? I'll just put this down.
Just winging
Um,
it.
yeah, because like obviously Malevolent Shrine has no adaptive. Obviously, if you know the series at all, you understand from the context that he's talking about Maharaga. So I don't know if that's just a case of like he doesn't know anything about the series and he's just taking the pages and trying to crap out whatever he can. But I don't know that this issue is quite as bad, but it is weird to me that it seems to only happen in English and everywhere else got it right.
I think from what I know, and I'm not 100% certain about this, is I think they have a couple of days, maybe, to TL. I think they get a couple of days heads up. I'm
That's
not sure.
rough.
That's
Uh,
my current understanding of it, but I could be wrong.
yeah, that sounds kind of miserable, but apparently not an issue in other regions. I guess they get more time. I don't know. Maybe take some note here, because I feel like after a while, this has to be aware, right? That like every week people are like, wow, this was wrong and this was wrong and this, like, it's not like they don't have a social media presence, you know? Like these tweets blow up big time.
Yeah, we
Um,
also do know that to an extent there is also corporate interference. I don't know if you were around for this. This is what led Caleb Cook to stop using Twitter entirely. Um,
I remember he got like okay, I guess I wasn't there. I was on Twitter for it. I didn't give a shit about MHA at the time, and I didn't follow Caleb Cook, but I
so
have heard he was bullied into fleeing by the woke MHA mob or whatever.
what happened is an official volume release, not like a chapter, but like an official volume that had a wildly different translation than the digital release. So people went to him and they were like, "Hey, what the fuck is wrong?" Like it was like just straight up wrong, a completely different interpretation and all that. And they were like, "Hey, why'd you do that?" And he was getting shit on relentlessly. So he came out and he's like, "All I can say is that at the end of the day, I'm not the one who makes the final choice."
Hmm.
And then he left forever.
That's also weird because why would you have corporate like making decisions on the translation if they don't know it? That's like not their. Again, I don't know anything about it. It's probably a very ass backwards thing,
It sounds like the
as
most
most stuff is.
typical American corporate thing to happen, though. So I wouldn't be
Yes,
surprised.
very true.
Besides the translation drama, though, for the next chapter that I didn't talk about, I like the weapons of mass destruction being treated as a commodity to be bought and sold, and like they're taking advantage of the fact that his dad is dead, so there's a limited supply that will drive up the price.
Uh-huh.
It's a true showing of the absurdity of the kind of shit we will treat as a market.
Yeah, and I mean it's valid. Like you see people talk about it now. Like, why do we
Yeah,
have cops? Why don't we just make it people can buy, you know, their
yeah.
own police departments and sell their services or whatever? Like,
Surely nothing will go wrong.
surely nothing bad will happen if you privatize police.
Um, like you touched on earlier, I really like powerless characters. Not like he's not like powerless, but you know what I mean. Like I like characters that are
In
traditionally strong,
comparison, yeah.
especially when they're an antagonist. I think it's especially interesting if they're an antagonist. I think it's harder to pull off as an antagonist, but it could be interesting though.
Yeah, it's definitely harder to pull off as an antagonist, especially in a battle shonen, because it kind of becomes like, how do we counter this very specific ability?
Yeah.
Um, a series that I think did it really well was Yu Yu Hakusho, or I don't know if you've seen that, but there's
Nope.
people in there that have abilities that it's almost like it's definitely at least partially what inspired domain expansions, but
Mhm.
they have an ability that's called a territory, and they open it up, and then everyone inside of it is subject to whatever rules they have. And so there's one that doesn't allow them to like be violent. So he has to put out a puzzle that they have to solve because
Uh-huh.
violence just gets turned off. Like if you try to hit him, it just stops basically. Um, and so they had to like do his whole game the way that he wanted to do it, which I thought was neat. So you can do it in ways like that. I like the
Yeah.
way they're doing it here more than just like, oh, I'm like intangible or whatever, you know, like, oh, I have a very specific superpower that makes it so that yours doesn't work on me.
Try and kill me, dipshit.
Yeah, I like it better when it's like this because he knows that he can't win in a fight, so he's leveraging what he can do,
Yeah.
and it creates an entirely different set of conflicts than the one that we just went through.
Yeah. Mike Cook with another antagonist, 2 for 2. Will we do it?
Hey, I am on board so far. I have seen nothing to alarm me so far.
Man, I love Kagurabachi. So fire.
It really has
Obligatory.
strong claims.
Obligatory. If you're not reading it yet, what are you waiting for? Especially
Yeah,
now that it's
I
already
don't
getting a
even know how
Western
much
release.
longer that we need to say that because it seems like the world is finally getting its shit together, but uh
Shueisha, return my video to the public.
we're John Shueisha begging you.
John Jump. Fucking call John Shueisha, please, and make him change his mind.
But yeah, Kagurabachi is fire. Chihiro is one of my favorites in the book right now, which is funny because he went from like, wow, this guy's a real cringe lord to wow, this guy fucking rules almost
He's really
immediately.
good.
Also, I like that we're about to fight like these enforcer dudes, and the guy strikes the same pose as our boy, who sucks.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
I'm excited for the future as always.
Yep, yep. I'm very much looking forward to more Kagurabachi at all times. I'm kind of always looking forward to more Kagurabachi. It's like the only thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. I middle click Ruri Dragon and Kagurabachi on Viz, and I'm like, all right, where's the rest? Undead Unluck my it's been cooking a little bit more though.
Yeah, Undead Unluck is one of those ones where I'm like, maybe I need to wait like a few weeks and read them all at once. You know?
Luckily, with our recording time, is what we've been doing. I've honestly liked it. It's the 2 weeks, getting to
Yeah,
read two
I've
chapters
I've
back to back.
enjoyed the. I know I've gotten some complaints. It's like I wish it was weekly again. I miss it, and I'm like I get it because it was nice, but like it's so much easier on the 2 week schedule to actually have something to say. Like
It's also way easier for my fucking life.
that too. Yeah, it is a lot less intrusive on daily life to to have the 2 week schedule. But I don't know. I find it easier to talk about stuff when there's more stuff to talk about. You know?
More things happen in 2 weeks than 1 week. Many people are
Yeah.
saying this.
Many people are saying that more time passes results in more things happening. Uh, but yeah, and it seems that people have been okay with the new format. I have still gotten some stuff. It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
wish you talked about this series one day, and like, I
Well,
get it.
I get it, but here's what us talking about that series would probably be. Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, but
I
that's all
assure
I've
you
got for
all,
Kagurabachi, at least.
we are reading everything. I assure you all.
Yeah, I am reading it when it comes out. It's just it's not beating the goat, and then
Yeah,
there's only 2 slots left after the
yeah.
number one obviously is taken.
Akane Banashi, unfortunately, is still going through one ear out the other. So,
Yeah, it's like bouncing off my eyeballs, like it's reflecting the light. Um,
I
Yozakura
guess if
family
yeah,
is still about those stupid children, so
I guess if we want to touch base on every series currently going that we don't talk about as often, Kyoichiro is still unfortunately a character in Yozakura family. Um, on that unlock, I've enjoyed this stuff. Not much to talk about, but like it's cool. Honestly, I do enjoy Green Greens. It's a shame that it's gonna get shot in the head.
it's gonna get executed like mafia style, two to the back.
Also, same thing. I do enjoy Two on Ice. Unfortunately, it's gonna get shot in the head.
Yeah, two on ice is probably the next one to go, I would wager. Um,
Mamo Yu Yu, I think is done very soon,
I could see it. Um, I could see it.
which
Didn't
I
it
was
come out
really not expecting.
in the same batch as
Oh,
two on ice
fuck
though?
if I know, dude.
I thought it was Mama Yu Yu, Kagurabachi, and two on ice were all in the same batch.
Maybe I don't remember. I don't remember shit like that anymore.
I just feel like, well, let me look at the chapter numbers because I think that will be pretty telling on what's still there.
uh,
Mama U's
also, yeah.
24, Two on Ice is 22. So yeah, they would have been the same batch.
Okay.
And I feel
Um,
like Mama Yu would probably last longer, but that's just my bias toward people
I
don't
mean,
like
have
ice
you,
skating.
dude? Mambo Yu is. I think it's actually. I think it's done very soon. Like these recent chapters, it's fried.
Yeah, I it seems that way. I don't know. I don't know. Mama Yu is another one that's hard for me to ingest, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but it definitely feels like we are getting to a point with it where it could just it feels like one of those conclusions where it could be the end or it could just be like, oh, we're moving to
See, I
something
felt
else.
this way about Fabricant,
That's true.
and then it
That's
ended.
true. And then it ended almost immediately. Um,
Also, yes, for everyone asking, I know Shadow Eliminators is in fact the best thing in the magazine, but like, I'm trying to gatekeep it, so
Gotta keep it on the DL, yeah.
yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to the next batch. I'm interested to read some new stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't really loved the brand new thing too much.
What is the brand new? Oh, yeah, I haven't read it. I'm not
The
gonna
evolution one. I don't even remember its name.
lie. I have.
Um,
You didn't tell me to read it, so I've
Dear
not
and
read a
Enemy.
single. I've not read a single chapter because I was not told by my handlers and Rada to read it.
All right. Well, actually, you know what? Next time we do, because I have gotten requests for another one soon, is we should do another live episode sometime soon. Um,
All right.
and when we do that, maybe on those we can talk about the stuff that we don't habitually speak on. Just because it'll be more riffing
Yeah,
on one of those, and we can talk about Dear and Enemy on there. We can talk about Yozakura and all that stuff.
I'll read it just for you.
See, look at that. This is a good soldier right here.
Yeah.
The way that you said yeah, and with the Utah like sad profile picture, it's
Yeah.
just
This profile picture has been excellent. Everything I type is like way funnier. It's just a completely different vibe to all my messages. It's really good. I really like it.
it is top quality. All right. Well, that's all I've got for Kagurabachi. And so before we end up just
Chill.
spinning on tangents, we'll call it there.
Yes, dear. Sorry for tangenting, dear.
All right, everybody. We will catch you in the next one.